Welcome back, guys. This is episode 2 of the Railucast, and today we're going to be talking about Infoluvial, how we came about, and basically why we're doing the whole podcast, right? So, I guess to start it off, I want to introduce you guys to the four OG members of Infoluvial. We've got Garf, or Garfoodle, we got Yox, and Lems, as well as myself. I'm Scrubber Dub Dad. Your semi-host for today.
And sorry for my technical difficulties. My camera was not working, but I'll be on next time.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just to maybe begin with, you know, Infoluvial, what it is, how it came about, and I think I'll be the, I'll start it off as and how I was able to like maybe come up with a name, and where it all started, right? So, Infoluvial was something I came up with after a failed attempt on a previous project alongside with Garfoodle, right? It was with Teal and the Firemind who first approached, I think, on the Discord, who had like this project that they wanted to make a website and to have like, a hub of information, thus Infoluvial, right? I forgot what it was called, but it was more like an illuvium.wiki or something close to
Yeah,
that. Garth, do you remember what it was?
maybe I think it was Guide.Illuvium, or
Yeah,
was
it was
that
like a guide. That's
was
correct. That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
So we were starting to set that up. There was like a website already. A lot of the background of that was set up, but then nobody was like helping out, right? And that's where I actually found out about Garfoodle. He started writing an article about it, and I was able to read it before it was posted. And but unluckily enough, the whole project fell apart, right? But in Discord, there was still that issue that so many people were just asking about Illuvium, and I still wanted to do my part. Right? I wanted to kind of help out, and that's where I had this idea that rather than going big scale, doing a website which I had no background or kind of skills to create, why not just something small? Right? It's a an infographic basically where we can condense all this information, and I needed someone to sort of help me out with the content, and that's the reason why I met. I approached Garfoodle about it, right? So that's how the initial thing started, and from then we sort of needed more guidance in creating the infographic. I was not a creative person. I think
we both were.
we both weren't. Yeah, and I think I need to show you guys how badly it was. We have like the
I mean, it
first
was
one.
that bad. I
oh.
think
While you find that, I was just going to say, while you find that, I remember you posting in Illuvium general chat, just saying, "Is there anyone with graphics artist skills, or is there
Yeah.
anyone with any skills?" And I remember thinking to myself, "I don't really have much skills, but I'd like to help in somehow." So I just remember reaching out to you, and we tried to do something, and I think it was slightly better than that initial draft you had, but it was still pretty poor. It was really only when Jocks came on is that when it really changed everything.
Yeah, it was such a blessing. I remember. I actually distinctly remember that. I posted it on general chat, and then,
Yeah.
um, yeah, Lams was one of the first people to actually show interest, and Yox followed suitly, and you know,
I think I joined a bit later after Labs.
yeah, it
Yeah, I
was.
think we might have even put the first one out, and then it was okay. We were like, oh, we're so proud of ourselves, and then you came and redid it, and it was like, oh, the first one kind of looks like shit in comparison.
Hey, let me share it, you guys. I found it. Oh my god, it's so bad. It was so bad. And this is actually way better because someone else was able to kind of fix it up a bit. But
I mean, what we had was even worse at the
yeah,
start.
this is worse than The original one was way worse
Wasn't-
than this. Yeah.
Wasn't the original in like PowerPoint or something? Because we didn't even have software to do something.
It was in PowerPoint. Oh my god. Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, look at that.
But you can see the vision.
But you can see like Yox is like, oh my god. It's a good thing that you came in.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, it's not aligned. Oh.
It's not aligned. The font was bad. Like it was just really about an idea.
Can you show like the scam one or something?
Yeah.
A recent one?
The more recent one. Hold on. Let me look for
That's
it.
like
again.
cringy flashbacks right there.
I know, right? So, what about you? I mean, Garth, I recall coming in at the very beginning because he was the first one I talked to. Like, what about you, Lems? At what point did you really come in? I completely forgot about it.
It was when the Discord started forming because I think we started chatting and we were looking at just trying to find some freeware online to use for building some graphics. And I found something which it wasn't very useful. And then I think you had suggested we should have a Discord group or something to organize ourselves so we're not just kind of using it the general Illuvium chat. And I had a little bit more know-how on that, even though I still had very little Discord experience. And I think I helped kind of get the initial setup there. But I remember when Garth and you and I set up with that initially. And then I don't think it was very long after that before Jox showed up. I think we just did the Discord and then maybe released that first graphic. And then within a week, I think it was after maybe seeing that graphic or maybe even just chatting in the character leaks where we all used to hang out a lot. And I think Jox was sending ideas to us and like, hey, have you guys thought about this? And I'm like, do you want to just help us?
Yeah. So I found this early version of the scams and how to avoid. So Yox, do you remember if you were already here? Because there's another version that I have that was
Yeah, that's the version before. I actually came in and this was the first one I started working on. So I redid this version.
Yeah, so if I recall correctly, so this is pre-Jox, and this is when Jox came in. I found the other one.
I think that one was almost just a concept and draft. I don't think we even got to releasing it. I remember the fun of trying to make those little circles though and get the images inside those circles.
I have the two new version, like the one. Yeah, that's the one straight
There we
off.
go. So you can definitely see the big difference.
But then I redid that one too.
Then we kicked it up a notch again.
So I send it here now to you.
No, but you can share it. You can share it on your screen, and I'll pull it up. Yeah. Just do a share screen on you. There you go. So, watching the stream right now. It should pop up on the screen for me. Yeah. Oh wow, that's actually way cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's pretty cool to see the progress. Kind of stage one, very rough around the edges. The second one, which still looked pretty good, but then when you had refined your skills, Jock, and then you made this one, we were like, oh, we didn't know it could get any better, but this looks way better.
Yeah.
But this one is also kind of old from the current style. Because the thing is, when I joined Infoluvial first of all, I don't have any background in art or design or whatever. I just know I have a good feeling for it since low grade schools, but I never worked with anything like this, and I had to learn programs, took inspiration from other projects and other infographics.
Yeah, but it's
like trying to
it's definitely worlds apart from where we started.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So you can see how I evolve because the infographics evolves and I am evolving and learning more in different programs and such.
And to think we all started roughly December, so it's been 6 months now. Wow. Ever since the whole infographic started, because I double checked our Twitter and even our Instagram. It was roughly around December that we first posted it. and it's a bit crazy how far we've come already, right?
Yeah.
So, but just going back to maybe the background of each, right? So I know Lems already started out discussing how he came about, and Yox also. But first question I want to ask you guys, and even Garf, right? I already shared why why I wanted to start out the infographics and sort of give back to the community. But what interested you guys to jump in on this project? So Garf, can you start since you were the first one I recruited?
Yeah. So yeah, we were in that guide group, and I was just creating my own articles because I felt like there was so much knowledge that was missing, and I had to search everywhere for the information.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd just write up an article, and it became longer and longer, and at some point I had 5 pages or something.
Oh, wow.
It was way too long. So yeah, and eventually it never got posted anywhere. So that was sad. I just wanted to help people understand what they were buying into, and like there was so much misinformation as well. So I just wanted to have that clear cut, good information that everyone could rely on, and that just would tell you what to do, right? Without giving financial advice, obviously. But
Obviously, that goes without
at least
saying.
you knew, yeah, at least you knew what you're buying into, and yeah, that was missing. So I tried to fill that up.
What about you, Lems? Like, what got you interested in the project, and what struck you to actually, stick it out?
So I guess I'll just rewind a little bit. So it was kind of early 2021. I started getting pretty kind of more heavily, I'd say, into crypto. And then last summer, I would say around July, I stumbled upon Axie. I had heard about it a little bit before, and I thought it was just kind of madness of spending thousands of dollars to play a game. But I very much had the mainstream gamer mindset and didn't kind of understand the earning aspects and ownership of assets and those sort of things. And as I started to read more about it, I was really, really interested and thought, screw it, I'm going to put some money into Axie and try it out. And it was a very basic game, but it kind of opened my eyes to the whole concept of ownership of assets and that sort of thing. And luckily, Axie is what segued me into Illuvium because I was watching videos on Axie, and then a suggested video was for Illuvium. And I started diving in, and I'd only maybe invested in Axie a month or 6 weeks prior, so I didn't want to just throw a bunch of money at a new game. But the more I read about the game, the more I could see, oh, this isn't just an indie game, a little game. This is going to be a proper mainstream quality game, but on blockchain. And I just fell in love with the idea and the whole concept. It was big Pokemon like player as a kid as well and growing up. So that whole concept of this massive open world where you can go and collect creatures and have like a more competitive battle system. I just love the whole idea of it. And so the project really drew me in from that regard. And then I could see kind of like you were saying, Scrub, a lot of the same questions in the Discord, and people didn't really read the FAQ because it was just a wall of text and just kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
So I was there for a few weeks just trying to help answer questions as I was kind of learning about the project, but would just see a common trend of the same things over and over and over. And when you started asking, you wanted to do educational content, I thought, okay, perfect. I feel like we can get a lot more use out of the effort of, creating something instead of just answering the same questions day in, day out and not really, providing the information to the community as a whole. So it was more of a little bit of a passion thing to jump in, and then it just kind of fell in love with the whole concept and idea and making the content from there.
Wow, Labs. I mean, it's actually pretty great to find out that the base foundation of all of us is really, that desire to help educate people about the project, and how we're very passionate about it, right? So this goes to now to Yox, right? To Jocks.
Yep.
So wanted to actually also ask you, like, what was the reason that got you drawn to the whole project and actually stuck around with it? I mean, how different was it for you?
Oh wow, yeah. First of all, when I joined Infoluvial, I was still quite new in Illuvium, I even remember I said to you that I can try to help out with the graphics, but I don't know much about Illuvium. But that also made me, by like helping out you guys, it made me more driven to learn more about Illuvium. Like I had a reason to learn more, and that's why I got stuck with the Illuvium project. Like I love everything with it. And how I found out about Illuvium was actually through TikTok.
TikTok. Wow.
Yeah, way back when Illuvium didn't have TikTok account. It was some. If I only knew who it was, I saw it's probably someone in the community. I hope, but I have a faint memory of how he looks like. So if I see him, I can tell that this is the guy. But yeah, so I saw a TikTok. He would like name 3 projects in crypto that you should look out for, and this was way back actually when like Illuvium was maybe 200 or something at the beginning. So I just joined the Discord, I think. If even that, I went to the website, signed up for the newsletter, and then kind of forgot about it. And also by then I didn't know much about crypto in general, so and I just forgot about it. And then a few months later, I started looking deeper into Illuvium. I joined Discord like just before the peak, I think. Like maybe it was October or something.
Found out the
I
price
joined the
was skyrocketing.
Yeah, it was
Oh, no.
such I joined
Bring us
the
back to
general
those
chat
days.
and the shit were just flowing crazy, like Hive and To the Moon and whatever. Like you haven't seen To the Moon for a while now.
Yeah.
Because the bear market, you know. But yeah, so I joined there and I didn't do much research about the token. I just aped in what I thought I could afford, kind of. Not too much. I have a very small portfolio still. But yeah, so I joined before the big peak, and after that it just went down, kind of.
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
so-
You found through TikTok, though. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that even all the way back then there was people still
Yeah.
making videos. I just assumed everyone kind of stumbles on it through YouTube and
Yeah.
Discord, but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, why I joined Infoluvial, like I kind of was in a state where I was kind of bored with my job. I wanted to find something new that I really passionate about, because I have a quite cool job that way. I travel the world doing cool stuff with a robot, but I just want to find something that I'm more passionate about, and I always liked like graphic art and stuff like that. I'm not good at it, but I like have an eye for it, so I wanted to try something. And when Scrub asked for people to help out, I just reached out, and yeah, the hype you guys gave me for just doing something a little bit better just made me more passionate about everything too. So now we started in Canva, or when I joined, we used Canva on the website. A while after, we got Photoshop, so I had to learn Photoshop and all that, and like learning all the new programs. You can kind of see in some of the infographics that I'm like learning new things, and the design and art on the infographics like getting better and better.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It's great to see them, man. They just look great already. Like after only 6 months, and you're already pumping out like this quality.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I gotta say that.
I was just gonna say, wait till you guys see the new affinity charts that Jock has been working on. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely,
You know what?
yeah.
Why not? Yox, how
Should I
about
show it?
Yeah, let's leak it out. Let's leak it out here until you're ready to
I can show
that.
I have all 4.
It's very similar to the original one, yet enhanced is how I would put it. Right? The quality.
I'm
is so
sharing
much
the
better.
screen. Yeah, it's not really final yet, but can you see it?
You got it on the Discord, so we actually see each other.
Wait. Classic.
Nice.
There you go. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Beautiful.
So much cleaner.
Yeah. A little atlas, happy atlas.
Nice.
I love that
Ramp,
atlas with his mouth open. I hope we get more of those kind of concept art.
Yeah.
So could you give
So,
a quick rundown of what they are for as well?
Sure. So the shards, in general, will describe the hyper effect we have in the auto battler, and the hyper is based around the affinities.
Mhm.
So, for instance, we have the primary affinities, like the 5 base ones: fire, nature, air, water, and earth. So if you're playing the auto battler and you want to know what's the most efficient placement, or like if I have Ramfy, he's fire, where to which alluvial should I place him so his hyper is charging as fast as possible?
Yeah.
So like you can study these charts when you're not playing, just to like learn them straight from your mind, or if you have them like on your second screen, or even print them if you want to during the battle, so you can spot the affinities and look what's the most efficient one. So if you look at fire here, if you go the right side, you see a green arrow, and the first one is the best counter for fire, so it's nature.
So,
Or
Yeah,
verdant.
Yeah,
Verdant, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, verdant, sorry. It's a double nature.
yeah.
So that one gives +4 in the hyper effect. So this one will charge the fire the quickest.
Yeah.
And then it drops down here. And on the left side, you have the one that, so if fire goes against granite will charge up faster than, and you will not charge up, basically. I
Correct.
guess how to say it.
I
And
mean,
the further out you come, the less hyper effect you have. But this is a disadvantage side of it, and this is the advantage. And the middle affinity is the one that's the attacker, so to say.
Yeah.
And the white ones are natural; they have 0.
so
they
basically,
don't.
they're not gonna be charging anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so that's like the 5 primary ones. We have something that we call twin primary composites, which means it's a twin of the primary affinity. So Inferno have fire plus fire, and that's a twin primary. So Inferno, so the twin primaries are actually charging double the amount of the primary ones.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can see we have +4 here on the primary ones, and the twin one has +8. So they will charge up much quicker, I guess, and they can also be as vulnerable to something.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we have heard something like glass cannons, but we need to do a disclaimer here. Affinities and the hyper is not affecting damage anything. Affinities are only or based around the hyper effect, like how fast you reach hyper.
Yeah. So the hyper effect does have an effect on how much attack speed a unit has, but it does not affect how much damage it does. So a fire illuvial deals the same amount of damage to a nature illuvial as it would do against an earth illuvial, even though it's the counter or like the perfect match for it. So that's you should keep that in mind.
It's a common thing that people don't quite grasp just because of usual Pokemon games, like fire versus water. Fire is weak against water, water is strong against fire. But in this case, it's more about charging bonuses than direct damage multipliers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just looking at all these charts, it's just not really bogs my mind, but you could see like the progression as to how Infoluvial really developed. At first we started out with infographics. Now we're doing cheat sheets, and in between we even decided to set up our own website, right? So you
Yeah.
could see in that such a short period of time how this small idea of giving back to the community through infographics progressed and really became a complete entity on its own. And it was crazy for me to see it progress and become bigger than what we initially set it out for, right? I mean, did you guys even think that we'd be here 6 months down the road? We have a website, we have all these, cheat sheets, this following on Twitter, and people are really looking towards us as one of the, definitive sources of information on everything that's Illuvium.
Definitely
That
couldn't
way.
have imagined getting to where we are now. I know we kind of had a goal of being like the Wikipedia of Illuvium, but that was in the early days. We just wanted to make some quality content and teach people about the game, and now it has evolved into this media business basically in itself, and this whole community platform, which is it's pretty wild and awesome to be a part of this journey.
Yeah. Now, we've already talked about what Infoluvial, how Infoluvial started, what we've been doing, websites, cheat sheets, and whatnot. But I think people would want to know more about the people behind Infoluvial, right? So I kind of want to take this time and opportunity to maybe give you guys, this chance to really introduce yourselves. Like, obviously not docs, right? But more of like, your background, maybe. Well, Jock's already mentioned how he got into Illuvium. Same with Lems, but more on like who you are and why you're so passionate about the project, both Illuvium and Infoluvial. Garv, do you want to start it off?
Sure. So I yeah, it's a tough one, right? So my background, I'm just a regular student. I put all my money that I could afford to put in into Illuvium. Um, so you guys talk to me like, oh, you're such a whale or something, but I'm definitely not. I have barely any money left. I can't. Yeah, I'm living off of noodles every day right now.
But you mentioned you're a
so,
student, right? So like,
yeah.
is it okay for you like to share what you're taking up currently, and is it something that you wanna like pursue or whatnot?
So yeah, right now I did do biology for a while, um, but I think I'm gonna swap somewhere else, like do a different study, but I'm not sure what exactly. I think it's gonna be something with games. I mean, you know, Illuvium and stuff. So yeah, what actually is my qualifications for doing this? Like, I actually have none. I mean, I'm a student. I've no degree. I have nothing. I'm just very passionate about this because I've always liked to play games. This is right up my alley. With I've played every generation of Pokemon. I've always wanted to move in the world like in Xenoblade or something, where you
Mm-hmm.
can just explore for hours, and that's exactly the same here. So I'm just really excited for it, and with the financial side behind it, it's just really cool. So I divide all my time into this, like devote everything to it. So it's yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
How about this
Definitely
one?
don't downplay yourself. I was going to say, because you're very analytical, and you're a good number cruncher, and understanding complex concepts, and analyzing games and such. So you're definitely good at breaking things down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask though that where did Garfoodle or Garf come from? What's the
Yeah.
story behind
So
that?
that's a long story. So before I actually made a nickname like Gargoyle. Um, But when people started to shortcut that to like garg, they would think of vomiting, like 8-year-old kids or something. I was playing Clash of Clans back then, so they were like, "Oh, it sounds like vomiting." So I was like, "Okay, let's make it different then." And they would call me Garfield or something to make it easier. And I was like, "Garfield? I don't want to be a red cat. Fuck that." So I thought, keep it light, keep it lighthearted. I just went for Garfoodle. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, that makes sense. That's actually pretty short than what you usually share. So I was actually ready to like sit back 5 minutes of letting you discuss about it. But wow, okay. So wow, thanks, Garf. I mean, that's the first time I actually heard about the reason why you're called Garfoodle or Garf right now. So that was very
You
interesting.
went from vomiting to Garf.
Yeah.
But you mentioned to us one time what you really wanted to work with initially with your studies, like crossing different, what was it, like animals or whatever?
Animal breeds, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
really cool to do, like biotechnology or something. That would be really awesome. But in the end, like, I just don't have the capabilities to either fund it, or I don't think like I would have any work under the governance to do anything that's actually rad or cool. They would be like, yeah, you should make like a mice or something.
Yeah.
Like, is it mice? Yeah, maize. I don't know. Like corn. So corn, and then make that different so that some kind of algae or like other insects don't eat it. And I'm like, I don't care about that. That's not cool. Who wants to do that, man? Not even for the food shortage.
You want to make bioluminescent jellyfish kind of thing.
Yes, exactly, but they already exist. So
Yeah.
bioluminescent like birds or something, that would be cool.
So
Trying to replicate Atlas.
what about
Yeah.
you, Jocks? We want to get to know more about you. And before you start, because one of the things that you were sharing a while ago, how what you were doing with like the robots and whatnot, and I distinctly remember we had that conversation, wherein I was recruiting you, right, and you showed interest, and you told me straight out that you had this proficiency to sort of simplify things, because your job was really to get people acclimated with a very complicated robotic system. And so my question is, what's the story behind that? And of course, what's the story behind Jocks, which I think we kind of talked about before. But sure,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I can just name why Jocks, because it came from school. My friends thought I was big and strong like an ox, and the J and O comes from my normal nickname, so they kind of mixed my nickname with an ox, and it got to Jocks.
So show us those guns, man. Show them why you're an ox.
Yeah, so I go to the gym like every day, not to get strong or anything. I just want to get bigger muscles, The goal, people ask me if I'm going to compete in bodybuilding or whatnot. I'm just, no. My goal is to look good with clothes on. Like I want to look big with clothes on. That's my goal.
What about your background?
Yes.
Let's go back to your background.
I played soccer my whole life. I don't call it soccer. This is the real football,
Yeah, football.
We kick the ball with our feet. Like we don't use our hands.
All right, none of us are American here, so we all call it football. So
yeah, I even agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and you're from Canada. And I'm from Sweden, and so I played football my whole life. Started to find interesting in the gym. I've been go to the gym like now 5.5 years, basically 5-6 days a week, with strict costs, like eating good, and all that. I moved to a new city 5 hours from my parents' home, 5 hours north, and I had to find a new job, of course. And I applied to this robotic assignment, and I got it. I applied to as an assembler for like assembling the robot for the production. But the CEO looked at my background, and I've been working with like teaching people, like new people joining the company. I'm the one teaching them how to do everything. So I have that like a background. And so he thought that instead of assembling the robots, you should be the one teaching them how to use it. So my job is, first of all, the robot is a robot. You connect it to a high pressure cleaner. You use a joystick that you teach the robot. So like you hold the joystick like this and you drive different functions, and you show the robot how to do this type of area, how to clean this area, and then it can repeat these movements as much as we want to. And the main goal is like the robot is adapted for pig farms. So the pigs will leave the room. They go from room to room, and eventually they go to slaughter. Each time a room gets empty, it's basically manually washed. So you go and wash like this with a gun, and it's very heavy. Yeah. So it's very heavy on shoulders, back, neck, whatever, and your lungs, like you're breathing bad air. So the robot is basically there to remove the manual wash as much as possible. And we say that we can wash up to 90% clean with the robot. So they have to do just a tiny bit of manual wash afterwards. So I'm traveling the world, basically educating the farmers how to use the robot so they can keep doing it themselves. Sometimes they don't want to learn or don't have time for it. So they buy my time, so I do the whole programming basically. So like I was recently in Australia. I've been around Europe. I will go to Japan, maybe Taiwan, hopefully USA soon, stuff like that.
Wow!
Awesome.
Wow!
Yeah,
So
I want to travel. Well.
Yeah, so it really lines up to what you're also kind of doing here in Infoluvial, right? It's about education and information. So that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting how
so that's
everything just lines up.
Yeah, it really ties in good because when I'm not traveling or out at the farm, I'm at the office doing instructions. We have our own Wikipedia for the robot. So I've been building a whole wiki that way, but it's very simple one, not a fancy one. So like I have a good understanding how people want to read, and like how it should flow, and what you should put next to the text, to like an image next to the text to really tie it together. So if you remember this image, you can kind of backtrack what the text said. And so that really ties into why I like do the final design for the infographics.
Yeah, awesome, Jocks. I mean, thanks for sharing all that information. And it's actually the first time I heard about the whole setup of the robots and whatnot. I just knew it was something to do with the farming industry, but that's pretty interesting. Yeah. So now we go to Lems, right? Lems, do you mind sharing more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So about me, I've always been kind of like, ever since I was a kid, a little bit of that techie kid and into games, that sort of thing. So yeah, growing up, loved, Pokemon and that sort of thing. And was always kind of techie. People used to always tell me to go work on computers and stuff. And but it was always something that never really interested me enough to be a full-time career. And I always liked, living things as well, plants and stuff. So I actually ended up getting into controlled horticulture, like indoor cultivation, greenhouse management, that sort of thing. And I did pretty well in that career and ended up kind of like production managing, like flows and that sort of thing of a couple of bigger companies and startups. So I have a big passion for plants and trees and just living things in general, and then kind of layered that in with the technology, with like controlled environments. And it's it kind of ties back to like what Garth was talking about, like the god complex of wanting to split animals. It's like except it's the god complex of controlling the environment from temperature and water going in, and so it's like hydroponics facilities primarily is what I was dealing with. So it's give me a lot of diverse skills of managing all sorts of people, as well as having fun with very expensive equipment and control systems, which like air conditioners and these massive grow facilities with hundreds of thousands of plants. It was pretty cool. But I got a bit burned out of that last year and decided for some life changes and kind of moved out to the country, have country living, and have my own little small business. And kind of with that, started diving back into crypto. I had kind of stumbled upon crypto back in, I think it was like 2012 when I was in university.
2012.
And
wow.
yeah, but I didn't actually get in, unfortunately. To me, it was just kind of this weird fake internet money.
Yeah.
I tried to mine Bitcoin on a like a PC, and how I wish I had actually persevered with that. Because honestly, it was just to me, Bitcoin was a way that people would just buy weed on the internet, kind of thing, and get it. Like that was all I kind of knew it for. It was the good old dark net markets and everything that used to exist on there. But so I was kind of aware of crypto, but didn't really get into it. And then, you get into your career path and life and everything, and that distracts you. But then, early 2021, when I kind of went some life changes and the bull market was going so crazy, it kind of drew me back into crypto. And I really just dove in head first and just started pouring all my hours of my day into just reading about blockchain tech. And because I was already a bit techie, I had a basic understanding. But I realized, it's not just like digital currency. Like there's so much more to blockchain and this technology. It's like, to me, it's the next, era of the internet. It's going to be as revolutionary as that was. So I was so excited to just dive back in. And then, like I kind of mentioned earlier, stumbled upon Axie and this whole idea of NFTs, which up to that point, I was just like, it's just flipping digital art. It's not really, it's more just hype. But then I was like, there's actually a cool thing to NFTs. You can have like your character skins. Like I've been playing games forever, and it's like, I can own all these assets. So that was the big segue for me. So now I pretty much spend most of my hours a day staring at Discord and learning about crypto projects. And it's a pretty wild world we live in, but often feels like a total bubble because everyone in my real life just thinks crypto is kind of a scam or that fake internet money like I used to think about back in 2012. So it's pretty funny to see how things have changed in terms of the greater, society hasn't really changed the view and opinion much, even though it's a little bit more prevalent. But when you're inside the crypto space, everyone is so excited for what's to come in the next few years.
Yeah, exactly. So why LEMS though? I mean, it's a pretty unique name.
So kind of funny story. It's kind of like Garf's. It's a bit of an older nickname. So go back about 10 years probably, and maybe a little less than that. So Super Lemonade 420 is the handle I have on Discord that I've had forever, because I've had this Discord account for quite a while, and it actually comes back to the weed and stoner reference with the 420.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why 420?
I used to love a strain called Super Lemon Haze, and I used to have a vaporizer that I would hide in a McDonald's cup when I would walk around in public, and it would look like I was drinking a drink, but I would be just vaporizing. And one of my friends nicknamed, or just jokingly, was like, "That's not Super Lemon Haze, that's Super Lemonade." And then when I made a Discord account, I thought that it kind of stuck with me, and I thought it was funny, and I had to set up a Discord account for following some different growers and weed channels, and that Discord account has stayed with me to this day. And then when I branched into crypto, it followed me here. And then I just shortened it to LEMS as a bit of an easier way, because Super Lemonade is a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
So now that's the reason why you got into hydroponics, huh? It's all
You see, it's all coming together, huh?
It's all...
So what about you, Scrubba? What about your background and how
Oh,
you ended up here?
yeah. Okay, so let me start, I guess, with maybe my name, right? Scrub-a-Dub Dad is something I came up with probably a year ago only, or maybe even like 2 years ago, right? I used to have a different handle that I use for gaming, for online gaming. I was a big online gamer before. Played World of Warcraft, played online FPS like Apex Legends, um, Hearthstone, all these kind of different kind of genres. And I had like one or two names, right? It used to be Zarkal, which was my name or handle back in World of Warcraft. I even had like a different name like Zacharias and whatnot. And then I kind of told myself, something different since obviously I'm a dad. I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old and 2-year-old. And I even thought about streaming and whatnot and kind of play in that dad vibe and have my kids join me when I was playing. And I wanted my name to kind of reflect that, right? And why Scrub-a-Dub Dad? It's a play of words with the that Scrub-a-Dub ducky kind of thing. I think that song, plus the fact that I can be a scrub at times when I when I play FPS. Being a bit old and whatnot already. But as to my background, just listening to you guys, it just really accentuates the point that we really come from different fields, different backgrounds, and it really ties in as to why we're really meshing really well, and we have our own strengths and weaknesses. So for me, I'm actually a lawyer. I'm a lawyer for roughly around 11 years now. I'm in my 11th year, and I'm currently like the head of legal of a multinational logistics company here in the Philippines, right? So which is why sometimes if you see my messages on Discord, you could see that I'm a bit more analytical, especially on the governance side of things. So a little bit of a, a small background regarding why I talk that way. But other than that, even though my profession is law, I'm really more interested in gaming as a passion. Which is why.
I think we all are, right?
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that really ties us all together is that passion for gaming and of course our passion for Illuvium. And I was really lucky and blessed to have stumbled upon Illuvium. That's something that really falls within my wheelhouse, and honestly, to be able to meet people such as yourselves who share the same kind of passion, same kind of drive, and like I was saying a while ago, how we didn't really think about 6 months down the road where we are currently, and every time I think about it, it just hits me. You know, um, we might have all these kind of ideas, but the execution wouldn't have been this smooth if it weren't for people like you guys. And I kind of wanna also give like a shout out to the rest of the team in Infoluvial and really show my appreciation and thanks to them because uh, in their own way they were able to really promote the brand, the project, and you know really grow it out the way it is right now. So thank you guys. If you guys are watching, I want like it's a lot of you
Yeah.
guys that I have to name, but maybe we can just like show later on like a list of all those people in Infoluvial that we want to show our appreciation and thanks for. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
For
insert
sure.
something in the post edit as a big shout out because
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Yep.
It definitely wouldn't be here without you all.
Exactly.
We're 10 plus now and on the team, and
Korean
from
heart. There you go.
translating to different languages to
Yeah.
translating to different
Yeah.
languages, writing articles, everything. It's a huge team effort.
Yeah. We can kind of jump back to the website here because like we Scrubban mentioned that maybe we should start a website, and the rest of us like, are you joking? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Because
I had to
none
push
of
that for
us
you
have.
guys. Yeah, I had to push
Yeah,
that.
you pushed us hard because none of us have experience. Lems had a tiny experience, but nothing fancy really. And all of us four and a few other guys in the core team helped out with the website, and we try and like learn by doing.
Yeah.
We had a lot of setbacks, and
Why don't you share the current look of the website right now? Do you have it out?
Yeah, I have it here.
Because that's something
I'll
that
definitely say
I
I
we're
was
all proud of, for sure.
yeah, very proud of. And I'll admit I was one of the most bearish in the early days because I said, who looks, people won't look at websites, people won't take the time to watch a 20-minute YouTube video. So I only go to a website. That's why I was very pro on the graphics. But then as we did more and more graphics, it made sense. We need to have somewhere to showcase them all. And then the website has since evolved into something much more and much more awesome.
Yeah, we found a love with the squids. Squids or octopuses are known for being smart, so we just put glasses on him and gave him the Bible of Illuvium. Yeah, but so none of us have like any experience. We had a lot of setbacks. I know personally, I stayed up way too long, way too many nights, like to redo stuff that it wasn't good enough. But which I still think can be better, of course.
Yeah.
So we have like no background in website development or designing, so we just figured out stuff along the way and had help from the like outsources, but towards the end before launch, we had a lot of help from a few people that actually have experience.
Yeah, we were pretty lucky to stumble upon some devs in the community that really helped get things going for us.
Yeah, so that like the whole Infoluvial is really community based.
Yeah, so
from Illuvium.
Shout out to Hobby, Binyay, and Jonas, who really helped out in the latter part of launching this website, and was able to be very pivotal in being able to provide the expertise here. Yeah,
cleaned up a lot of things that we messed up that we just couldn't figure out how to fix. Like I remember like so many nights like I stayed up to 4 and like fell asleep like at the table, like and just flew up and wondered what the hell am I doing and why am I trying this.
Yeah, I'll never forget our soft launch when we soft launched and we realized all the mobile pages were all messed up. We had to go and fix all those.
Yeah. Don't remind me. Don't remind me. The affinities page and the classes and even the Illuviary, that took me so long to like fix it and whatnot, man. And I got so sick of it for a time.
And with WordPress, it really isn't that easy. Like with the buildings, there was like so much lag if you wanted to load it.
Yeah.
And then you would insert like one image and it would load another minute. Oh, it was just
Yeah.
But it's turned out really well, I think.
We're so far.
Started.
Yeah. So far. Yep.
Yeah.
Only getting started.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I mean, do you guys want to share a little bit of a teaser as to like what we're doing in the next maybe couple of months? Lems,
I was thinking the same thing.
Go ahead, Lems.
I think you should. I was going to say you should tease it because you've been working with the UI and UX designer on things. So maybe you want to tease. I don't know if you want to share any of the images of mock-ups of anything.
I think we can like show a part of it, right?
Yeah, show one.
Yeah. But Lems, while I'm looking for it, do you mind maybe like discuss like what our current plans are as a team and what are we working on in the next couple of months?
Yeah, sure. So, as you guys can see, we're pretty happy with the website and what it is, but we do also are aware. Well, let's say we're aware that there are limitations to it right now, and some of the navigation is a bit clunky. So we're happy to take constructive criticism too. You guys can leave things in the comments if you think there's certain things we should add to the homepage or any kind of things that will streamline navigation, because we are aware it's a bit limited right now. There are some limitations to WordPress, which is why we are actually in the process of getting a custom website built from scratch, and that ties into what Scrub is looking for the mock-ups of right now to show you guys. I'm really happy with the website we have, but I still look at it and I can see that it doesn't have that same wow professional feel that I experience when I go to the Illuvium website, and that's kind of what we're hoping to change, so that when people visit Infoluvial, it has that same sharp, crisp, clean look.
Yeah, and the quality of Illuvium drives us to achieve as high quality as possible.
Yeah,
Like they really inspire us, and we really want to achieve. If we can achieve something like that, just wow! But it really makes us work harder too.
Yeah. So this is like one of the mock-ups that currently working on for the website, right? I mean, we'll just go through it really quickly, but you can see that we try to bring in the same kind of elements from the original website, but enhance it and provide a more premium look and quality. Yeah. And I think there's just something that I do want to like show you guys just as a sneak peek. Let me just click on it.
With the filters, is that the one you're going to bring up the page with the filters?
Not the whole thing, but basically just the top of it, because like this one. Oh, so
Yes.
it looks so good. you know, I'm really happy with how the design is ongoing, and this is just the start.
Everything is not final, so
It's not final. Yeah.
still a work in progress, of course. Yeah. And if any Illuvium member is watching this, can you please give the name of the Komodo dragon? He's so cute. We just need his name. Just the stage one is enough, please.
Yeah, so like we said, we're working on a custom website, really revamp the look more premium, and we're sort of working on more tools. We don't want to kind of share that right now, but more utility rather than just like the information hub, right? So when you go to the website, we want you to see that it really is, a one-stop shop. All the information is there. Articles are there. Care of Garfoodle, Diraji, and Ramfi. And then
other content creators.
All the content creators, even like the YouTube content creators, would be available for viewing on the site, and provide utility through the Illuviary, the affinities, classes, and even of course, the Illuvium Zero buildings. That's something that we're also kind of working on right now. But other than that, we do have other tools that we have lined up for you guys. I don't want to go into detail too much about it, but it's definitely something to look forward to, and it's very exciting for us to be able to share that to you finally once this custom website would be made available. Because unfortunately, with the current WordPress with its limitations, it wasn't easy for us to be able to provide these tools and responsiveness and the user experience that you guys might want from a community website such as the Infoluvial.io. Yeah. So that's the updates that we have for Infoluvial. So
just to expand upon that, I was just going to say, if we're, I like to say for the community, by the community. So, if you guys have ideas of tools or things you would like to see on our website, drop them in the comments. Let us know what you want to see us develop and add as we continue to bring new things to the website.
Or even if you think you can contribute and help us out in any way, let us know, and we take it from there. Like, we need any help we can get, really.
Of course, anything from written content. If you guys want to talk about write articles or guides, whatnot, we welcome to host it on our website, even in the current version of it, as well as if there's like any kind of developers who wants to create tools, as Lems would say, we would love to host it. And this even goes beyond like written content or development. If you guys have any kind of like fan art that you guys want to share to the community, we would love to host it on our website as well. Yeah.
Yep.
And even just to go back, Jocks found out about Illuvium through TikTok. So do we have any pro TikTokers out there that want to
Yeah.
make cool TikTok videos? That'd be great too.
Yeah, we would
Yeah.
love to highlight you
Yeah.
guys on our social media as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So should we finish up and maybe just go through the Railucast? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, exactly. That was thanks, Jocks.
And why the name?
Yeah. So we've been talking about Infoluvial, how we started, what we've been doing, what we're currently doing, and what we're gonna be doing, right? And that brings us to this current program that we have with this podcast, and we've dubbed Railucast, right? So I think Garth, I feel that you'd be one of the best persons to sort of like introduce what is Railucast.
A Railucast is an overview that we give based on the Illuvium news that we find that happened in the last week, because we will do this weekly. We will talk with council members, with other content creators, or just with the four of us to go over the news, any exciting things that happen in the Illuvium atmosphere or ecosystem, and you will get all of our opinions and yeah, just a fun time with the guys on it. So
Yeah, very very raw and naked.
yeah,
We just play around here.
And there's a lot of spicy topics recently that we will reserve for the next episode for sure. Yeah.
definitely.
But
So why the name
yeah,
though? Why the name?
exactly.
Who wants to explain that?
Why Railucast? And I think Yox is the best person to talk about that.
No. I think Lems is because the first episode that wasn't supposed to be an episode. We just did a test recording and we just threw it out there for the funs. And the Lems just started. What's the name? Do I have a name on this cast?
Yeah.
like we didn't even have a plan at all. But so Lems just threw out
I think it said
Railucast.
Red Panda, and I think it was actually
yeah.
Scrubba who jumped in with the Railucast, which I
Yeah.
thought had a great flow to it.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it really ties everything together, right? It's a good way to kind of identify what we're trying to do, and how Railu really originated from the last Illuvial contest, right? Wherein it's the community who was giving ideas to Illuvium team, and in a sense, that's what that's what we're doing, not just in Infoluvial, but in this particular podcast, wherein we're discussing things as a community. It's not like very stringent. It's very raw, as Jox has already mentioned, and our opinions are free flowing, ideas are free flowing, and we talk about anything under the sun about Illuvium and its ecosystem. And as Garth already mentioned, we do plan to have guests come in, council members, content creators, but more importantly, we want to have community members jump in on this podcast and really just discuss what they're thinking about, because this is a great way for the community to speak out and let people know their sentiments without having to filter themselves. I think that's the core context as to why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. And the last Illuvial contest was basically anyone could give a concept of a new Illuvial, because the team was missing one for the set one. So they gave us, everyone in the community, the opportunity to do a concept. So us four went together as Infoluvial OGs and threw together a red panda. We everyone had a week to do so, and we basically landed in a red panda. One of the stages, I believe, stage 1 was the name Railu from our original concept.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
yeah. So the team basically, they call us out, ask if, not ask, they basically announced that we won, and a few weeks after they announced it to the community in the Discord, Illuvium Discord, and
we were
yeah,
holding
that's why
on to that
we.
information for quite some time.
Yeah,
we,
that was
we were so
tough.
excited to share that out. We had to keep it
Yeah,
from-
and we even more excited now because we want the community to see the final concepts, and we want to see the final concepts because
Yes.
we haven't seen it yet. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but the
exactly.
team is working
Progress.
hard on everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
seen some
that's why.
progress, and really excited to be able to share that when it gets to it.
Yeah,
the team.
sheesh. We can't say much about it really, but yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, because Ben.
And
is watching.
that's yeah, exactly. Cut. No, but so that's why we have Railucast as the name of the podcast, because it's just our baby, you know.
Yeah, so wow, who would have thought? Just discussing about Infoluvial would be coming in already on our 1 hour mark, and we have so much to actually talk about still and share about Infoluvial. But unfortunately, we want to, like Garf has to leave. That's one.
Yeah, I have to leave. I had to leave an hour ago.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that. So, I guess we can wrap this up, and we would like to thank all our viewers who's watching this. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy our banter here in Railucast, and let us know what you guys want us to talk about in the next episodes, and maybe share if you guys want to like jump in. Do send us a message, and we'd love to have some of the community members come in and discuss more about Illuvium and their thoughts with the current news and updates as to what's happening all around, even the crypto space, right? So with that, this is Scripted Dad, Garf, Jocks, and Lems signing out, and thank you for watching. So you were growing weed, like I didn't want to ask it on live.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an
Like
idea. I had an idea before, but then
Like big warehouses full, like it's like thousands of plants, like
Wow.
crazy shit. Like it was,
But you're allowed to in your country, so.
yeah. No, I was on the cutting edge of the whole legal market as it all unfolded here. It's pretty wild.
Mhm.
Yeah. So wow. So we're talking to a millionaire here already because he was like one of the
Yeah, I
first
wish.
movers.
I was working for the dickheads who got all the money.
So did you?
That's
branch
why
out on
eventually.
your own?
That's why I ended up bailing, was just because it's very cutthroat and it's very heavily regulated, and it's hard for making profits. But a lot of the small guys have been kind of pushed out. I was hoping to do like my own thing, but the small licenses are still really, really expensive. So
I see.
yeah, it's very corporate. It's even just watching. I think in 2013 it was medical. In 2011, I think, or 2011, I think they started medical, and recreational was 2017. But yeah, it was a lot of just giant corporations
And
milking
you've been doing this for
people.
10 years?
Close to it. But yeah, I started at home in the.
I know, it's like hydroponics. I was like, homegrown stuff. Yeah.
It all comes together.
Yeah.